Who am I talking to? Hands up who is looking for a job. Most people. Hands up who doesn't know what they want to do, or you want to change. You're looking for a change, yeah? Hopefully with loads of money, okay? So is there any problems finding what that is? Because I think it's a lovely segue to what Kieran had, but I'm taking it from a different angle. Oh, we started. I think that's not the first one, but don't worry. Oh, it is. Okay. I don't know my own slides. You see this here? This is the formal bit. You see, if I stand here, I can't really see, and I want to see as well, because I'm going to walk around. You see, the thing is, I think that, look at all that. You know, that looks much better than it actually is. I'm a complete chancer, but look what I can do. And it looks great on paper, but really, I think it's important to recognize that sometimes you get validated from places that you would never think of when you're trying to find a new career. And you really want to open your mind to all the different parts of your life. Now, within this here, I discovered that when I looked at it, now this is a blatant ad, right? Don't mind that. But I started my own company, and I wouldn't say it's successful, but when you talk about the measures of success, over my career, there's well over 200, but I just said definitely 200 people that I've either gotten them a job, or I've chatted to them and they've progressed, and I seem to be able to find the key to really motivate them to be better. And how do you do that on your own? It's really hard. You can't really do it on your own. I want to know which one do you like better, the first one or the second one? First one, thank you. That's it, market research done. So within this, I think it was 2008. My background is in manufacturing, and I stole the ideas from manufacturing of their root cause analysis. And you take it, and you really, really will benefit from having a structured problem-solving approach. So this is the 7-step devised by Nigel Harrison. You should Google him. I've got a pen and paper because I want you to do stuff. I want you to write a kind of, as we go along, a rich picture, because there's loads of different ideas here that I think will benefit you. And it allowed me to be very romantic, okay? So, I can incorporate my life. So I sit and look at people's CVs behind there, and I see so many people, they share so much of their own life with me. So for a change, I thought I'd go through a little bit of mine. The kids did that for us. Isn't that lovely? I got 3 kids. And this is me, actually. And I was a really ugly baby, but a beautiful adult, okay? Well, that's my sister, too. She looks very happy. And when I was going through my career, I came across this ages ago, and it really is true. Did anyone ever see it before? And isn't it true? But we think of other people, and we don't think of ourselves. You're trying to find some. What's your name, actually?
Maria.
Maria's trying to find something, and maybe you think, I'm too busy to actually put the time and effort in, or you're actually busy perfecting a bad process. So you really need to break through that and see things from a different angle. And this is the thing that's very, very famous. It's from Jim Collins. And Jim Collins is someone you need to write down. So this is used to create a strategy for companies. Well, here I am, and a lot of people are, using it to have a strategy to find your hidden career. So also, it has built-in discipline. So yes, you might be passionate about flower arranging, okay, and you can put it up there. But if you look, it has to intersect with an economic engine. It has to pay you. And if it doesn't, then it's steer clear. And also, you have to be within a certain geography area or field. You have to be the best at it. And when you get those three things, it's in the center. Like the hedgehog is very simple. All he does for defense is just rolling the ball. So the simpler it is, the more effective it is. And that's what you try to do with a coach like Kieran there before, just to have that bounce back. And I'm going to come back to that. This is another thing here now. Anyone know this guy? Hands up? No? Lads. Oh, one, thank you. Stephen, thank you. This lad here is very famous. You heard of Six Sigma? He's kind of credited for it, but I don't think he's credited for it. Let's just leave it there. But this is a revelation. I mean, from an L&D point of view, what happens when there's a mistake in a company? You have to retrain them. It's the people. And that's not the facts. That's not the facts. It's actually the system, the process. And the peoples are very few. And yes, while I read that, there's 6% of you-know-what's working, and we all come across them. That's a lot, actually. But still, it's usually the process, and the process is devised and approved by management, okay, or leadership. So I always was inspired by that. And this is just complete vanity, sorry. But I look great in that one. And this is about, we need to be our own private detectives, our agents. We need to be flexible. The way, you throw anything at James Bond, and he'll get out of it. And we have to face the reality of the market. Is the market. You can't go with your flower arranging, Maria. Even though you're very good at it, but it doesn't pay, okay? Because there's somebody better and more established, and we need to find something quicker. And mistakes can be made. That hair was a mistake. And I was wondering why I never got any girlfriends at that stage, but now you know. Can you spot me? Isn't that ridiculous? Okay, I want to embarrass myself because... and then it ends up like that. This is the good thing, okay? So this is Joanne, Alana, Adeline, and Joseph, who, of course, won't look at the camera. Typical, okay? And this is, why am I showing this? This is about the purpose, okay? Because I want to bring I'm going to go corporate, don't worry, okay? This is just my favorite comedian. You're going to die one day. You'll be a chunk of coal, okay? Anyone know who this is? Nobody knows any of my references. You do too. Oh, great. Steve, we should go for a pint. This is Norm MacDonald. And you have to Google the moth joke, okay? It lasts forever, but it's worth it. Okay. And so we want to figure out, and look at my father here in 1960. Maybe 62. What a cool picture. Think of his career ahead of him. He was embarking on 28 years of a manager in a hardware, okay? And, it seems simpler at times. I'm sure they had their complexities, but that pace of life, you look at it, he's just having a cup of tea on the side of the road. It's fantastic. This is Joanne and me today, and these are the girls. We're just chilling out. And this is the priority of my life. And I coach under 11s, and we've got 3 wins in a row. And they're playing today, so they'll probably lose because I won't be there. And this is AI. Look at that now. Okay, AI is a big factor, isn't it? So have you used AI yet? Hands up. What for? Now, I hope it's not that. Okay, because that's just ridiculous. And this is ridiculous as well. I'm not doing that at all. I'm using it for work and productivity, okay? Now, the thing is, sorry, I did another one. And this here now is what we want, the facts of life. What we want to really get to, what we do every day is really, it should be more important. And what you do every day can last after work as well. So one of the things I find a bit uncomfortable is, work is important, but I think there's a unity of life approach that's a little bit more palatable, but very hard to get, rather than work-life balance. So it means, those guys that are really, really happy with their job, and they can't get enough of it, and then they go and have a lovely relationship with their family and everything's balanced, but it's not balanced, because if you balance, you kind of compromise a little bit. And sometimes, most people, the aspiration is to get a balance, but sometimes, people even achieve higher than that, which is a unity of life. So you really feel like your purpose, and I think we should be aiming towards that. Does anyone here think they have a good work-life balance? Oh, okay. That's great. So it's one, though, out of all the people here. There's thousands of people here. The camera can't see. Okay. So I'm a consultant at the moment through the Sole Trader for Engineering Skillnet. And the Engineering Skillnet is part of IBEC, and that's part of a working group. I think it's Engineering Industries Ireland. And we're all kind of engineers. Because you come up with solutions to problems that don't exist, okay? And that's really the focus of engineering. So back to the topic, right? Which actually wasn't off the topic, because I just want to bring you in that thought process. How work is changing. Well, how is work changing? So let's get down to business and look at these are the things I'm going to cover as quickly as I can. Is everybody okay so far? Okay? So, the changing landscape of work, isn't it going very fast? Isn't things changing? With the AI coming along? Like, it means that you got to think, what skills I have today are going to pay me tomorrow? And hands up who thinks they have skills in education that are going to pay you tomorrow in a new job. Hands up. Yeah? One? Okay. That's actually just, okay. So actually a lot of people, that's still 50%. So 50% of people think they haven't got the skills that will pay them tomorrow. So you remember the old classic of a cooper. Do you know what a cooper was? He made the barrels for Guinness. They don't use them anymore. They're for wooden. They're obsolete. But now the pace of change has gone crazy. And so there's some major statistics. So this here, it's really to focus in on that. Work just doesn't look the same anymore. And I'm not going to read that, but look at the second one there now. Is that true? I found that as a stat from multiple sources, so I really have to look into it. But in 2027, half of us will be disrupted. So if that's the reality, if that's what we're facing, then we got to adapt to that. But that's scary, isn't it? Because, will you be able to do it in time? But now is the time. Now is to take action. If you get a nugget of something today or two, are you going to go home and actually do it? Hands up who's going to do that if they find something that really they believe in. Okay, well, hold yourself account. That's very honest. Thank you. You went like this. So, with that said, imagine learning to drive all over again. So the next bit here we want to focus is the future of work, and this is the landscape. This is what we have here. So we all work remotely. Now, another hands up. Who likes working remotely? All the extroverts go, yeah, I do. So it was their moment to shine. But I'm an introvert, as you can tell. Don't laugh too much. But I found it very difficult because I couldn't connect. I couldn't sit down if you want to. Come on. It's not mass. You can come up the front. So within here, the greater role of the employer as a social safety net, I found that one quite interesting. It's like a nanny economy or something. I didn't really like it, but I do see the trend because a lot of the legislation is that kind of safety net thing. With more and more, it's harder for the employers to make a profit and still be legal and have their obligations. And there's really positive things with those legislations, but I think there needs to be a kind of reality sometimes. But that's the way we're going. And there's also the wider use of contingent workers. So look at me. I'm a consultant and I work for the IBEC, like I just said at the beginning, but I have other clients as well. So this seems to be the pattern. And that job for life that my dad had as a hardware, it's probably it's still around, but it's risky. You'd be in it, and then 10 years something will happen, because change will happen, and then you'd be exposed a little bit. So when we look at the stats, this is the World Economic Forum. I just go, ooh, when I say that. I don't know why. This is a negative view of them. So the top 10 skills. Now, you can't read that, I know, but it's really more for you to Google, and I'll just highlight one of them, okay? You can see there. So what it's really, the pattern it's showing is a thing called transversal skills. Does anyone know what that is? Hands up. I won't ask you to explain it. So it's transversal skills. You do know? Okay. So I had to Google it, really, but I should know. But the thing is, you know the skills and knowledge that really translate to every job. Leadership, for instance. Okay? DCU are focusing on a huge amount on transversal skills within their courses, because they recognize the future will be, you can't be that Cooper that just makes the barrels. You got to you have leadership, flexibility, problem solving, and it's all there. Self-management, working with people. So the soft skills will be dominant, so they say. Okay, and they are dominant in the fact that there's quality of it isn't actually there a lot of the time, because the majority in the Irish population are introverts. So extroverts really annoy introverts, so apologies. Now, if we go to the next bit, we're back to this. Now, I think it'd be nice to draw them circles if you have a thing, and just as we go through it, and you think of what are you really passionate, what will pay you, and what are you the best at? And if you can find that, you really have a nugget of information. So let's have a look here of some of the basic transversal skills. So at the beginning, we were trying to find our hidden career. And I was involved in a project in 2008 when we had the downturn in the economy. I was with TE, but they were called Creganna, and we were short quality engineers, and we couldn't find them. All the foremen were out of work because nobody was building. So the initiative was, look at the transferable skills and transversal skills. Think of a foreman, think of a quality engineer. They needed people management, check. They had complexity around complex designs and standards, check. They had good project management, check. They were business savvy, check. And they cared. And we just had a 6-month program and converted them into, so the Skillnets within IBEC are a powerful source. Use them. It's really important. Use them even if you're happy in your job. And you want to have a defensive attitude now, because really the world is changing. And if we come to the next bit, it's the challenges and opportunities. So within that, there is challenges. And I love this. You like that? I never heard that before. I only discovered this for this presentation. A smooth sea never made a skilled sailor. Okay? So sometimes we're going through some tough stuff in work. Well, Janie, we come out of it. And we can meet another person that maybe we can read the cut of their jib, pardon the sailing thing, and know how to manage the next time you meet that type of situation or person. And we need to really foster that, as that's the kind of currency of skills in the future. So we want to also not be afraid to, when adversity comes, to like Tricia's question about that, the motivation. The motivation is really to reduce your risk, because you have to kind of presume you're going to have a shorter job or a different job or a complex job. And if we look here, think of my dad there. He's so chilled. But I got this quote, with every challenge comes an opportunity. Okay? That's a kind of a cliche. But yes, we might have to adapt to new technologies, manage work-life balance in remote work. But who said change was easy? Change is normally not easy. But we have to use it in a kind of way to build learning is change. Learning can be hard work. A takeover of your company, and there's new ways and processes. This should be a thing that you have to train yourself to like. I actually do like it. I always think that we have to think like the scientific method. Change. Observe. If it doesn't work, think of something else. Try it out. Observe. Think of something else. And that's how we improve. That's a scientific method. So then you can see as a graphic here, my dad would have been in the hardware and is a job for life, and there he is on the left-hand side. And, a lot of the cliches around the civil service, etc., etc. And then we come to me and you, and the trend at the moment is that you have to separate. Now, think about this now. You have to separate the skill from the role. You know the way we always say, like, it's easy. A doctor's skill, it's fairly plain. But within industry and work, leadership, where's that go? That can go in so many roles, in every role. That's the transversal aspect of the future. So when you plan your career and try to find that hidden nugget that you love, well, you need to think that it might be a project that lasts for a month, and you might have multiple. But the actual consistency is your leadership skills, your soft skills, your project management skills, your finding a solution, your determination. That's the type of stuff that will pay. So we can see here, think of opportunities like new roles, skills, and ways of working. So a different way of working, isn't it? Does it seem uncomfortable to you because you wouldn't have the steady paycheck? Well, in actual fact, you probably will earn more money because you know the way they pay more because you're not a constant employee. So it could trend that way. And I imagine that there could be legislation to protect people like that. And there already recently was with some, don't quote me, the sole trader now can have more benefits around pension. And that's an acknowledgement of that trend. So then let's get down to business again. Where are we now? Am I doing okay? Is this boring? This is the boring bit. Well, I hope not. Okay, we're still engaged, yeah? So we have number 3, and this is great now. Scary and great. This is about tips on how to respond to change. Now, everybody must have seen this book. Hands up who knows what's it called again? Who moved the cheese? Hands up. Yeah, you smiled because I know you did. Isn't it a good one? It's really good. The thing is, it's also a bad one because when you pull it out, there's Nuala. When you pull it out of your drawer, it usually is synonymous with redundancy. Okay, that's a little HR thing. So, you hand them that book but it is a powerful message. Do you know that you can read it? Basically, when you know that source of income or a way of life that you just take for granted and you can't imagine life without it, that's your cheese. Well, if the cheese is moved, well, you can read the book. It helps you deal with that. But we have to think like that. I think that the cheese we have in the future is these transversal skills that can go in a very part-time type of a mindset. And there you go. That's the quote, if you can read that there. I think that resonates with a lot of people because it is what you're afraid of, isn't it? It's really, hands up now who would prefer the old-fashioned job for life? No, well, oh yeah, there you go. There's always one, the Taylor factor. I don't know why I'm surprised. I thought there'd be more. I think that's a human nature thing. So within this context, how do we respond? Well, oh no, we should go upskilling, network, flexibility. Why can't we just go in and do a job and come home? But this is the reality. You have to have stability, and stability requires this new way of working. So then we have to look at our growth mindset and our resilience. Well, actually, we don't have to acquire them, because take a step out of your work life and you'll find them in your private life. That's why I started with a lot of the robust, a lot of the personal things, because that's actually a lot of the transversal skills are developed through that, and they're just not recognized. That's where I have discovered over 200 people now that have gotten a job or success, and just by focusing a mirror. It's an Irish condition. You know, writing a CV and like dumbing it down that you're not that great. When, you know, we have to be a little bit, apologies for any Americans, a little bit more American in that sense. Just for the CV, you need to sell yourself. So this here now is about taking action. Okay. Actually, I'll just go back one. So there's 7. Now, why did I pick 7? It's obvious, really. I don't know why I picked 7. I thought, well, you see the presentation before me, and you look at YouTube, you look at so many things. There's loads of advice, you know. But it's good to come to Job Expo like this and actually sit down and just navigate which advice really resonates with you. How am I doing for time, Trish? Okay, perfect. So within this, these are available afterwards, are they? I think we can circulate them. So we already covered a lot of this. This is just a reinforcement, and also a reinforcement of the previous one. Embrace lifelong learning. And it's lovely to have welcoming Nuala here, because she's the champion of lifelong learning in the West, okay? And she will be advising you fully on this, so it's a lovely segue, as I used to work in radio. So then we have cultivate a growth mindset. What the hell does that mean? Well, I got this little graph just to show you. It's self-explanatory, but this is the way you think of a challenge. Now it's an opportunity. Now it's a thing to grow. Remember the sailor quote? You know, a rough sea makes skilled sailors. So this is the mindset we need to, like, challenge helps me grow. The fixed mindset is detrimental to your pocket, your happiness, your work-life balance. Sometimes we need to have psychometric evaluations with a third party. Sometimes just to mirror it back on us and just get that. That's why the benefit of that coaching that really comes through. So the other one is network actively. Now, network is, this type of stuff is obvious, but your friends, your family, get yourself out there and talk about what you're passionate about. Don't just give them a CV and say what you want. Don't think that they care everything about you. You need to connect authentically and have a two-way value add when you have a conversation even. Oh, that's true life. But don't just say, I need a job, I need to do it, moany. We need to actually say, I love this. Do you love this? Let's find your tribe and get passionate and deep knowledge, and just success will come. It's like in lean manufacturing. They perfect the process and just the profits come in. So within this here, we stay informed, and that would be what we all do too much probably. Prioritize work-life balance, or try to aspire for that unity of life I talked about at the beginning. So we have to be adaptable, flexible. Well, flexible is easier said than done, but it might be actually, the way you have to, your non-negotiables that was mentioned in the previous one, you have to negotiate them, but they are negotiable. Okay, that could be in the form of salary, it could be in form of time, it could be in form of location, but because of the structure that I spoke about earlier, we might actually be fine, and we might be able to have that flexibility because it's only short term. So discover your hidden career, consider your skills, passions, values, and then we come to the clicker. I have a spare battery in my pocket. Okay, so finding your hidden career. How do we do that? Okay, this is what I use. It's really good. It's developed by Nigel Harrison. He's a psychologist. It's a performance gap consultancy tool for HR and L&D people. But I've used it successfully to identify what is the thing. What is the hedgehog concept? What is the thing that you haven't seen? It's an objective way. I won't go through it, but there's a little explanation on the website on Performance Consulting UK. And remember, that's the hedgehog concept that we talked about earlier. We should have, hopefully, if somebody, did you write something down there? Be my champion of taking notes and have a little bit of an idea. And we have to remember our transversal skills. And then we come to the conclusions. So the world of work is changing. We know that. Okay? And we do need to embrace the change, and, you know, the constant is the change. And that's how we have security, by embracing that. But it actually is enjoyable. I'm only doing this for about I don't know, on and off for about 4 years, but very full-time recently. And it's nice, but sometimes it can be like, oh, what's going off? Sometimes it's like, I'll step back up. Sometimes it's like a 4-leaf clover. It's really hard to find. And I got 2 minutes, I see. And but I think it is there. It is there for everyone, because we all have a unique contribution to make. It's very slow. So let's just recap there. Embrace change, but act today. There's only like 3 or 4 people who said that they're going to do something today if they come across something valuable. But it's act today. You know, look at Nuala's there. She might have a very good course that is exactly what you need. So, and she's also great with advice. So what we do and who we do it for every day should give us purpose. So I began with the family, and really it's a lovely motivator for me. And, you know, a family of all walks and shapes and sizes, okay? But this always makes me smile. Have something on your desk to remind you that you get that, you know, the 6% people I mentioned earlier, and you have to put up with them. Sometimes it's worth it. And in the end, it's what it's all about. So I think I'm near the end, and there is a golden ratio to all this. There's a design. If you know that reference, you're doing well. And that's me. Thank you very much. I think that's the slide I wanted to end on. And what am I on now? 1 minute. Okay. Gurv Mila Mahagot. Do we have any questions?